God says sometimes the people you care about the most are the ones who end up confusing your heart the deepest. You feel something real, something powerful, something God placed, but His actions, they have never matched the weight you carry in your spirit. There are moments when He shows affection, moments when He pulls you close, moments when He makes you believe there is something sacred between you. And then, without warning, He withdraws, He hides, He becomes distant, or He treats your heart like it is something He can pick up and set down whenever it is convenient. You've tried to understand it, tried to justify it, tried to excuse it, but your spirit has been whispering for a long time that something about this is not right. Today God is speaking clearly to you. He plays with your heart, but God is about to show you who He really is. God is stepping into the places where you have been uncertain, where your emotions have been swirling, where your intuition has been awakening, and He is about to give you clarity you can no longer avoid. There were many times you thought you were overthinking, but you weren't. You were sensing. You were spiritually aware. You were picking up what His words tried to hide, what His behavior tried to cover, what His charm tried to distract you from. And God saw every moment, every mixed emotion, every silent disappointment, every hidden tear. God saw you trying to carry the connection in your heart while He carried it only in His convenience. God saw the moments when He reached out just when you were finally ready to release Him, the moments when He gave you a little affection so He wouldn't lose you completely, the moments when He vanished after getting the reassurance He wanted from you. God saw how your heart tried to understand Him, even when He made no effort to understand you. You have been patient, loving, open, vulnerable, and hopeful. You have been willing to believe the best even when He gave you only fragments. But God is saying that this season of confusion is ending. You are entering a season of truth, raw, unmistakable, undeniable truth. God is about to show you who He really is. And that revelation will change everything. Not because God wants to hurt you, not because God wants to embarrass Him, but because God wants to free you. He wants you to walk into relationships, commitments, and emotional connections that are aligned with Him, not with someone's convenience or someone's confusion. God is not the author of emotional chaos. When He sends a person for you, the connection will not feel like something unstable, unpredictable, or draining. That's how you will know the difference. God has been watching the way this person has handled your heart. He has been watching the way He gave you a taste of affection but never the fullness of commitment. God has seen the way He kept you close enough to feed His ego, but far enough to avoid responsibility. He played with your hope. He kept your emotions in a cycle. He wanted the benefits of your presence without giving you the security of His truth. God is not condemning him, He is exposing the reality so you can finally stop blaming yourself. You deserve someone who knows your worth without needing reminders. You deserve someone who does not confuse your spirit or exhaust your heart. You deserve someone who chooses you with clarity, not someone who plays with you while pretending he is unsure. God is stepping into this situation because He does not want you settling for an emotional illusion. There is a reason your peace has been disturbed. There is a reason your spirit has been restless. There is a reason you kept feeling like something was hidden behind His words. There is a reason you felt like His affection always came with shadows. God has been trying to get your attention, not to break your heart but to guard it. You asked God for clarity, and clarity is exactly what He is bringing. But before He shows you the truth about Him, God wants to show you the truth about yourself. You are not replaceable. You are not temporary. You are not someone a man should pick up only when he is lonely and put down when he is distracted. You were created with intention, value, depth, sensitivity, and purpose. Your heart is not something to toy with. Your emotions are not something to manipulate. Your love is not something to take for granted. God is reminding you that you are His, and anything that belongs to Him will never be handled carelessly. You poured so much of yourself into someone who gave you only a fraction of what you deserve. You believed His words even when His actions contradicted them. You hoped for the best even when the truth was showing you the opposite. The reason you stayed so long in confusion is not because you were weak, it's because you were sincere. You loved with honesty. You cared without calculation. You gave without pretending. And God honors that. But now God is calling you into a season where sincerity must be met with sincerity. Honesty must be met with honesty, and commitment must be met with commitment. God did not create you to be a placeholder in someone's story. You are not meant to be an option. You are not meant to be a temporary emotional fix. The love God has for you is too great for you to align yourself with someone who is only half present. The truth you are about to see will not be confusing. It will not be vague. It will not be subtle. God is about to pull back the curtain on everything you could not see before. He is about to reveal motives, intentions, hidden behaviors, and emotional inconsistencies. He is about to show you what He truly feels, what He truly wants, and what He has truly been doing with your heart. And once you see it, you will no longer be bound by the emotional cycle He created. You will no longer feel tied to someone who only tied himself to you when it benefited him. You will no longer feel obligated to carry a connection that was never mutual. God is about to break the illusion that kept you emotionally stuck. There were moments when you asked yourself whether He loved you or whether He simply loved your attention. You wondered. You may not realize it now, but God has been preparing your heart for this moment long before your emotions even recognized the need for it. Every small discomfort, every subtle inconsistency, every moment when something felt off was not an accident. They were divine signals, quiet alerts from heaven. God doesn't allow confusion to sit in your spirit without purpose. He has been nudging you, whispering to you, pushing you gently toward the truth. You tried to give this person grace, patience, and understanding, believing that maybe he needed time, maybe he was struggling, maybe he was afraid of what he felt. But God is clarifying something important for you. Fear is not an excuse to hurt you. Uncertainty is not an excuse to play with your heart. Immaturity is not an excuse to drain your emotions. You kept giving chances because your heart was sincere, but God is about to show you that the love you offered was bigger than the space He ever intended to make for you in His life. You are not wrong for caring. You are not wrong for believing. You are not wrong for hoping. But God is stepping in to show you that you were investing in someone who was only investing in the comfort of your presence, not in the responsibility of loving you. And that is why God is bringing the truth now, not later, not in another season, not after more heartbreak. Now. Because the longer you stay connected to someone who drains your spirit, the harder it becomes to step into what God has prepared for you. There is something God needs you to understand. Your heart is not a playground. Your emotions are not a testing ground. Your presence is not a temporary shelter for someone who only seeks comfort but not commitment. The love God placed inside you is powerful, deep, transformative, and rare. And rare love must be given to someone who sees its value. That is why God cannot let this illusion continue. The longer you stay connected to Him, the more you begin to shrink your worth to match His emotional limitations. God is revealing the truth so you can rise again into the fullness of who you are. You may feel like you lost a version of the story you built in your mind. But you are not losing anything real. What you are losing is the confusion that has been tying your heart to someone who never had the capacity to walk with you into your next season. God is removing what was only meant to be temporary so He can clear the path for what is permanent. And yes, there will be a moment, very soon, when you will look back and feel grateful that God stepped in when He did. When God reveals the truth about someone, He does so with purpose. You may discover things about Him that will finally make everything make sense. His distance, His inconsistency, His pull and release behavior, His sudden changes in energy, His emotional absence, His tendency to disappear when things feel too real. You may see parts of His heart that were hidden behind His words. You may notice patterns that were disguised as excuses. God is about to remove the spiritual fog that kept you attached to someone who was never meant to hold your heart long term. The revelation may come gently or suddenly. It may bring peace or tears. But whatever form it takes, it will bring understanding. And with understanding comes healing. And with healing comes release. God is preparing you to let go not with bitterness, but with clarity. Not with anger, but with wisdom. Not with pain, but with strength. This is not just the end of an emotional cycle, it is the beginning of your emotional freedom. God knows how much you invested. He knows how deeply you felt. He knows how many times you gave grace because you believed in what your heart saw in Him. But God is reminding you that love is not real when it only moves one way. You were willing to meet Him with honesty, but He met you with shadows. You were willing to give truth, but He gave you fragments. You were willing to open your heart, but He kept His guarded. And God is saying, no more. No more emotional limbo. No more half-presence. No more mixed signals. No more uncertainty disguised as connection. You are entering a season where God is going to show you what real love looks like. Love that doesn't require you to shrink, wait, doubt, or beg for clarity. Love that doesn't confuse your spirit or exhaust your peace. Love that doesn't show up only when it's convenient. Real love will look nothing like what you experienced with Him. That is why God must reveal who He really is, so you can release what is not meant for you and make space for what is. There will be a day when you'll wake up and feel the shift. You will stop checking your phone for messages that never come. You will stop overthinking silence. You will stop hoping for consistency from someone who was never capable of giving it. You will stop replaying memories that were based on potential, not reality. You will stop carrying the weight of a connection that was held together by your effort alone. You will stop blaming yourself for the way He handled your heart. The day is coming when the confusion that wrapped itself around your emotions will dissolve, and you will breathe differently, lighter, deeper, freer. God is preparing you for this shift. He is strengthening your heart even now. He is softening the blow of the truth by filling your spirit with peace. He is reminding you that when He reveals a person's true intentions, it is always an act of protection. He is not breaking your heart, He is breaking the hold that confusion had on you. He is not exposing him to shame him, He is exposing him to free you. He is not showing you the truth to hurt you, He is showing it to elevate you. What comes next after this revelation will surprise you. You will rediscover yourself. You will realize how much emotional weight you were carrying. You will feel your mind becoming clear again. You will feel your self-worth returning. You will feel your spiritual ears opening. You will feel God leading you with more clarity than ever before. This experience is not meant to destroy you, it is meant to refine you. You are being repositioned. You are being recalibrated. You are being redirected into something better than what you thought you wanted. God is getting ready to show you that there is someone out there whose heart will not play with yours, whose intentions will not hide behind mixed signals, whose emotions will not shift like the wind, whose love will not disappear the moment it becomes inconvenient. God is preparing someone who will match your depth, honor your presence, and value your heart. Someone who will not fear your love, but rise to meet it. Someone who will not run away from emotional truth, but move toward it with courage. Someone who will not take from you without giving back. Someone who will not confuse you, but bring clarity. But before that person enters your life, God must clear the space that this emotionally inconsistent man has been occupying. That is why the truth is coming. That is why God is exposing what you could not see before. That is why your spirit has felt unsettled. That is why your intuition kept whispering. God is aligning you with love that reflects His heart, not someone's convenience. He played with your heart, yes, but God is about to show you something far more powerful, that your heart is stronger than anything that tried to confuse it. That your spirit is wiser than any illusion that tried to mislead it. That your destiny is bigger than any man who was too small for it. The truth will free you. And that freedom will open the door to everything God has been saving for you. There will come a moment when everything inside you will shift, not because you forced yourself to move on, not because you tried to be strong, but because God Himself lifted the weight that was never meant to stay on your heart. You will feel it like a quiet release, like a deep breath you didn't realize you'd been holding for months. The attachment that once felt unbreakable will begin to loosen, and the emotions that once consumed you will begin to settle. You won't have to fight for clarity or beg for peace anymore. God will bring it to you. He will settle your spirit. He will restore your balance. He will remind you that your heart was never supposed to be tangled in confusion. And in that moment of release, you will finally see the truth. God didn't let it work out because He was protecting you from something you didn't even know you needed protection from. You will begin to understand the emotional patterns that kept you stuck, how He pulled you close when He felt you slipping away, how He disappeared when things became too real, how He gave you affection without giving you commitment, how He used your love to soothe His insecurities but never offered anything that nourished your heart. You will see the cycle clearly, and you will finally understand why God could not allow you to settle there. Love is not supposed to be a cycle of uncertainty. Love is not supposed to leave you drained. Love is not supposed to confuse your spirit or make you question your worth. As God reveals the true nature of His intentions, you will realize that the version of Him you fell for was a version you created from hope, not truth. You saw potential. You saw glimpses of who He could have been. You saw the softness He showed in rare moments and believed it reflected His core. But God is showing you now that potential is not the same as consistency. Possibility is not the same as commitment. Glimpses are not the same as foundation. You were in love with what He could have been, but He was living in what He chose to be, and those two realities never aligned. But God is not angry at you for loving. He is not disappointed in you for hoping. He is not judging you for holding on to someone who felt familiar. God is a healer. He is stepping into that place where your heart held on to fantasy, and He is replacing it with truth. He is gently removing the illusion, the idealized image, the emotional expectations that exhausted you. And in doing so, God is preparing you for something far greater, something that does not depend on potential, but on purpose. Something that does not rely on what if, but on what is. Something built not on mixed signals, but on mutual intention. You may not see it yet, but God is proud of the strength you are gaining through this process. He is proud of the way you kept your heart pure even when someone mishandled it. He is proud of the way you continued to love even while you were hurting. He is proud of your loyalty, your compassion, your patience, your depth. And God is saying that none of those qualities will be wasted. The right person will honor them. The right person will understand them. The right person will cherish them. The right person will match them. The truth He is revealing now is not a punishment, it's preparation. Preparation for a love that will not make you question your value. Preparation for a relationship that will not require you to shrink yourself. Preparation for a connection where your heart will not be a game, but a gift. Preparation for a season where your emotions will finally feel safe again. And when God removes someone from your heart, He replaces their space with Himself first. You will feel His presence filling the gaps, healing the wounds, closing the emotional loops that had been repeating in your mind. You will sense His comfort in the quiet moments, His reassurance in the moments of doubt, His peace in the moments where you feel tempted to look back. God will walk with you out of this attachment gently, step by step, emotion by emotion, memory by memory. And with each passing day, you will feel lighter. You will feel stronger. You will feel clearer. There will be a moment when you will thank God for not answering the prayer you once prayed for this person. You will realize that unanswered prayers are often the greatest form of protection. If God had given you what you wanted, you would have been tied to someone who could not carry your heart. But instead, God is giving you what you need, and that is freedom. Freedom from confusion. Freedom from emotional inconsistency. Freedom from mixed intentions. Freedom from cycles disguised as connections. Your spirit will look back and understand that God didn't remove him from your life. He removed you from a place that would have limited your future. God didn't expose the truth to break you. He exposed it to rebuild you. God didn't show you who He really is to embarrass Him. He showed it to empower you. Every revelation, every moment of clarity, every emotional shift is leading you toward a love that aligns with heaven. Not with heartbreak, and yes, you will love again. Not with fear, not with caution, not with the hesitation this experience created, but with fullness, with confidence, with discernment, with joy. You will love again because God is healing you in ways you cannot yet see. You will trust again because God is replacing the confusion with wisdom. You will open your heart again because God is restoring what was drained. And the love that enters your life next will not feel like guessing, hoping, or waiting. It will feel like understanding. It will feel like certainty. It will feel like peace. In the seasons ahead, you will look back at this chapter with clarity and say, "Now I understand. Now I see why God couldn't let this continue. Now I see why He had to show me the truth. Now I see why He had to pull me out." And instead of pain, you will feel gratitude. Instead of loss, you will feel alignment. Instead of heartbreak, you will feel elevation. The man who played with your heart may have been part of your story, but he is not the end of it. God is writing something new for you, something untainted by confusion, something untouched by inconsistency. You are stepping into a season where love will meet you with intention, where connection will meet you with clarity, where your emotions will meet rest instead of turmoil. This is your turning point. This is where God shifts your path. This is where the fog lifts. This is where your spirit rises. This is where your heart begins again, not empty, but wiser, not wounded, but healing, not confused, but guided, not insecure, but strengthened. He played with your heart, but God is about to show you something far greater. No one can play with what He protects. And now God is protecting you fiercely, lovingly, completely. You are being lifted out of what drained you and into what will fulfill you. The truth has come, the clarity has arrived, and the next chapter God is preparing for you will make every moment of confusion worth the revelation you are receiving now.